Good luck, Coach.
It's a ride, it's a gang thing. I've been getting groovy, you can't say the same. If you don't work hard, then you finna lose. If you don't chase your dreams, then you need to move.
Welcome into Meridian Center in downtown St. Catharines, Ontario, home of the 2021 Canada Summer Games. This afternoon, we feature game number 7 of the CEBL Summer Series between the 1-1 Niagara River Lions and the 1-1 Guelph Nighthawks. I am Sean Woodley. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And I'm joined here by former Canadian national teamer Javon Shepard. Javon, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm definitely excited to be here tonight. Looking forward to some really good basketball, really intense basketball. Both these teams have been off to a really good start, so interested to see how it goes tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. The Nighthawks coming into today's game fresh off a tough loss to the Hamilton Honey Badgers yesterday. Their opponent already have some experience in navigating the back-to-back as the Nighthawks are experiencing today. And we'll hear all about the challenge of navigating the back-to-back on the other side of the break with our sideline reporter, Amy Audibert, as she caught up with Coach Vic Rasler of the Niagara River Lions. Very fun game we got coming up here today. Again, the Nighthawks won, the River Lions 1-1, and the Nighthawks navigating that tough back-to-back here in this condensed schedule. And you're going to hear all about it. The game coming up next, Nighthawks, River Lions here on CBC Gem and on CJOY 1460 AM in Guelph.
Most of our clients who come through our door and who are suffering from mental illness, they're feeling a sense of despair and a longing for help. Often, insurance companies are denying disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We've represented hundreds of clients who suffer from anxiety or depression. We fight for our clients' right to receive the compensation they deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. We can help.
Your long-term disability firm, Kotak Law.
Time to rep your CEBL pride, Canada. Exclusive New Era merchandise is now available on CEBL.ca. Buy your favorite hats, replica jerseys, t-shirts, hoodies, and more. Welcome to our game. River Lions fans, right now you can get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit riverlions.ca and take advantage of this exclusive summer series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience. Nighthawks fans, right now you can get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit thenighthawks.ca and take advantage of this exclusive summer series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience.
Welcome back inside Meridian Center here in St. Catharines, Ontario. Nighthawks, River Lions just about 5 or 6 minutes away from getting tipped off here. Amy Audibert, our sideline reporter, will be along shortly. A bit of technical difficulties going on with her microphone right now. We'll get her queued up, and we'll have Amy as part of the broadcast a little bit later on. But for now, Javon, let's dive into the format of this summer series for maybe people just tuning in for the first time. It's a very condensed tournament, not a tournament, I should say. I'm not supposed to say that. It's not a tournament. It's a replacement of the regular season, of course, and you're seeing on your screen there the format for the tournament. I guess, said it again, I'm going to get in trouble. It's a six-game round robin. Every team plays everybody once. Single elimination in the quarterfinals. You get the championship semis and finals as well. Only one team will not qualify for that knockout round. in the playoffs, the stand-in for the playoffs here in the CEBL Summer Series. Javon, we've seen some weirdness early on, right? We've seen, some of the favorites coming in, not necessarily getting off to great starts. No team has more than one win right now as we get this going. One team will be 2-1 at the end of today.
Right.
But, sort of with this shortened, condensed schedule, what are you looking for as teams sort of try to get themselves in gear so as to not fall behind?
You know what? Now we're off to a good start. I think the important thing for teams is that now they've had the opportunity to scout. They know their team's tendencies. They know what their own stuff. They've created their own identity. And I think going forward, in this tournament, we're going to see some really good basketball. On top of that, we're not only fighting for, it's not one game at a time, but we're also fighting for playoff spots, right? One team is getting left home. Two teams are going to get a bye in the first round, and then you have the other two that are fighting for their spot. So, I think we're really going to start to see some good basketball right now, and these teams are, they're ready to go.
It's also really valuable as well for, the seeding. You might get in as the 5 seed, but if you get that bye to the semi, that's so much more valuable, obviously. You get that break, too, because as we talked about, the schedule is so condensed.
Exactly, and that right there is very important. A lot of these guys are playing the bulk of the minutes, 20 minutes a game, 20 minutes per night. Some are playing 30, and I think that most important is that rest, in the first playoff round.
So, Javon, you've got some keys to the game here for both the River Lions and the Nighthawks. Once again, both 1-1. Let's start with the River Lions. What are the keys for Vic Razzo's squad tonight?
I think win the game of the rebounds. They're a little heavier down low, and I think that's key for them because they're a team that wants to get out and run. So if you can collect defensive rebounds and then get out on the break, get easy baskets, you don't have to run any offense. Ball pressure on Miles Jarvis. That's going to be key. This guy's he has 6 assists a game right now, and he's able to get guys involved. So if you can limit that, then you take away the offense of Guelph. Also, dominate the play in the paint. They've done a good job of that so far, and they just need to continue to build on that.
And as far as the Guelph Nighthawks, once again coming off a tough loss yesterday to Hamilton, they try to bounce back today on the second day of the back-to-back. What are you looking for from Guelph as their keys to the game?
Most importantly is limit the second chance points. Niagara does a really good job on offensive rebounds, especially a guy like Daniel Mullings. If we can, isolate him and get him off the boards, that allows us to, capture the ball and get some more offensive possessions ourselves. Also control the pace of the game. I think that's going to be the key because both of these teams want to get up and down. If we can pick and choose when we're getting up and down and get the right shots, obviously that's going to bode well for Guelph.
I'd also throw in the starting lineup for Guelph needs to be much better than they were yesterday. Just 28 total points for the Guelph starting lineup yesterday after 57 combined in their opening win over the Ottawa Blackjacks. Let's take a look here at the starting fives for both teams. For the Niagara River Lions, you've got Daniel Mullings, Trey Bell Haynes comprising your backcourt. A darn good backcourt that is. Cassius Robertson on the wing along with Guillaume Boucard, the defending Canadian of the Year in the CEBL. And then the defending Defensive Player of the Year, Sam Muldrow in the middle. For Guelph, you've got Marcus Anderson, the Carleton product, the wonderful defender that is Marcus Anderson, John Arledge, and Tredarius McCallum, the two imports for Guelph. Jabari Craig, a returning player for Guelph, and then Kimball McKenzie, steadying force in the backcourt for Charles Kissey's squad. The officials for today's game are Tanner Servo, Vern Bavell, and Nate Saunders. As we get geared up, just about a minute 40 away, a reminder that the official game ball of the CEBL is Spalding. Get your new CEBL official replica ball today by visiting CEBL.ca. We saw you a little earlier, Javon, out on the court with those balls. How do they feel in the hand?
You know what? I like the grip of them. I know I've heard a couple of guys complain that when it gets wet, the ball gets slippery. But I think once they get worn in, just like any other basketball, they have really good grip. Guys are shooting well. So
we're going to take a quick rundown to Amy Audibert, who's our sideline reporter. I think we've got our mic figured out. Amy, what's up?
Yeah, the mic was down, but I certainly was still talking to both coaches. Obviously, you guys talked about Niagara playing every team playing at least one back-to-back, and Niagara, I'll say, got to do that right off the bat. And so I spoke with Victor Razzo earlier today. He admitted that his staff knew it was a tough early draw, especially because these guys haven't played for about 4 months since March. But the biggest takeaway from that Saskatchewan loss was actually his guys came out of that game after they dropped it knowing how good the talent pool is in the CEBL. He's glad that the back-to-back is out of the way, and he's getting Guelph on the tail end. He did tell me that It is not a do or die game, but it certainly is pretty darn close to that. Now, on the flip side, I spoke to Charles Kissy about what they've been up to the last 22 whole hours, because that's essentially what the recovery time's been here. And he said, well, they have to play with a sense of urgency and stick to the game plan. You guys already showed it. They are switching a starting lineup because last night their starters only combined for 28 points. Guys?
Thanks, Amy. We'll be checking in with Amy throughout the evening here as we get ready for the Nighthawks and the River Lions set to go here in just a couple of seconds. Any last thoughts before this one gets tipped off here?
I'm looking to see some good basketball. Interested to see how these two teams go head-to-head. They're both 1-1, so somebody's coming out with a loss tonight. They play very similar in a sense, so it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top.
And an important note as well, Trey Bell-Haynes is back in the lineup for Niagara. He missed the last game with rest, as Amy alluded to there. Long time off for all these guys, and it's not easy getting into play. You know, they're not just playing games either. I was speaking earlier with Cam Kutch of the Guelph Nighthawks, and he was mentioning that, you know, that they've been working out 10 days in a row. So
right.
They didn't have shoot-around this morning, hopefully to save some of those legs for this game here. As the teams hit the floor, the Guelph Nighthawks in blue and silver on the numbers, and the Niagara River Lions in their home whites with the green and blue trim. As we get going here, both teams 1-1. Again, every game matters here in the CEBL Summer Series.
You know, these guys are also excited to play against each other. These are guys that have grown up together, heard about each other, and haven't had the opportunity to play against each other. So I know we talk about fatigue and, you know, Amy touched on back-to-backs, but I think once you toss this ball up, these guys are ready to go.
And here we go, the tip. Sam Muldrow wins it back. Boucard gives it over to Trey Bell-Haynes, who will walk it up. Thanks again for joining us here on CBC Gem and for our radio listeners on CJOI 1460 in Guelph. Bell-Haynes has Anderson on him. He gets it back to Cassius Robertson. Flipped over to the wing to Trey Bell-Haynes. Around the elbow, Dorian Pinson tries to drive. It's knocked away, and it's going to be Nighthawks ball. Successful defensive possession for Guelph off the start.
And you know, I like that. They're physical right out the gate. You definitely do not want to let Daniel Mullings get off to a good start. So something like that, bump him a bit, get him off his course.
Here is Anderson. He gives it over to Arledge up top. He's got Boucard on him. Little handoff, or tries to do the handoff with Kimball McKenzie. He gets it to him anyway. McKenzie swings it around. Arledge up top, dumps it down. Baseline, Marcus Anderson. Down low to Jabari Craig underneath. He gets it to go, and the Guelph Nighthawks are the first team on the board.
That's a really good play. He drew the attention off the pick and roll and just tossed it over to the big man. That's the benefit of having a big man like that. Use his length, get the ball at the rim. You can't defend that.
Mullings up top to Haynes. Trey Bell-Haynes drives again. Little floater in the lane. That is good, and the Lions are on the board. Kimball McKenzie walks it up here for Guelph. He'll drive. Deterred there by Sam Muldrow. Who among us has not been deterred by Sam Muldrow near the rim? Arledge up again, up top once again.
Interesting. I've seen both teams in a 2-3 zone right out the gate. We've seen a lot more man-to-man action when these two teams first stepped out here.
Mullings tries to find Cassius Robertson on the run, and he throws it away. Get a look
that's
here.
Touch. That is beautiful touch. Trey Bell.
Nice to have Trey Bell-Haynes back in the lineup for the River Lions. McCallum for three. That's no good. Rebound by Boucard.
Yeah, you know what? I'm still going to live with that shot. They did a good job getting into the gut of the defense, creating an advantage, and went kick out for a good shot.
Sam Muldrow, we saw it earlier in the tournament as well. Sam Muldrow bangs a three in from up top.
How do you defend that? That's a 6'8". That's a 6'8" big that has a wing skill set. Can shoot, he can put it on the floor. He's going to be a mismatch in this series.
I said tournament again. I'm going to get in so much trouble. Here he is. Guillaume Boucard drops it back. Mullings. And a foul is going to be called here on Marcus Anderson. Been pretty impressed by Marcus Anderson. You know, often, you know, a U Sports guy fresh out of school this year, you're not going to see A, playing a bunch, and B, playing as well as Anderson has, especially in the defensive end.
Right, we've seen a lot of that in this series here. I also, you know, Rayshawn Brown out of Saskatchewan, he's done a really good job, and that's another U Sport guy who's playing really well right now.
And we got a foul called here on Sam Muldrow.
I think that looks like a makeup call to me. That looks like a makeup call.
5-2 early on here for the Niagara River Lions. over the Guelph Nighthawks. Game number 7 of the CEBL Summer Series. McKenzie hands it off to Arledge. He's at the elbow. Up top to McKenzie again. He'll drive. He's got Boucard on him. Surveying to the elbow for Jabari Craig. He puts it on the deck with Haynes on him. Over top of Haynes. He'll take advantage of that mismatch all day long.
They're taking advantage of their size.
Trey Bell Haynes directing traffic. Tries to find Robertson, but it's picked off by, again, Marcus Anderson making a big defensive play. McCallum for 3 in the corner. That is good. All started by the good read of the pass by Anderson.
And see, that's what you want. If you can get the ball up early, advance the ball early in transition and get open shots, we don't have to run any offense. Kicked up the lane, good open shot, knocked it down.
Cassius Robertson. Up top, Trey Bell Haynes over to Muldrow again. He'll fire up another 3. That's no good. Picked up by Trey Bell Haynes into the lane once again. Dump off to Mullings. And a foul is going to be called here.
See,
I think before the shot, no basket.
That's what we want to limit. We spoke about that in the pre-games, that offensive rebounds for Niagara, that you have to stop that or else you're not going to win this game. This is how they thrive.
A reminder, today's River Lions game is presented by Meridian Credit Union, where banking feels good. The Nighthawks game day partner is also Ward 1 Studios, responsible for so much of the great video work going on. Cassius Robertson, no good. Rebounded by Jabari Craig. This week the CEBL has been trending all across Canada, Javon. Join the conversation by using the hashtag #OurGame online and be part of what has been a trending topic on Twitter. It's beautiful.
It's great. It's great to see for the game in Canada, period, just to see, all our Canadians out here playing basketball and high-level guys at that. This is something we haven't seen before, so it's something definitely to celebrate, and that we are.
Trey Bell Haynes kicks it out, swung around, Mullings in the corner. And there is Daniel Mullings, 5th right now in tournament scoring at 19 points a game.
See, and I'm going to give that bucket to Sam Muldrow. Again, you have a 6'8" guy, pretty much 7 foot, on the perimeter. Not only can he make shots, but he's making plays for them.
Jabari Craig working the elbow up to Kimball McKenzie. He'll drive after taking the Craig screen. Tries to throw it to the corner for McCallum, but he throws it a little wide, and it's going to be Niagara ball. 8-7 River Lions early on, 5:50 to play here in the first quarter.
Great ball pressure. Ball pressure and defense hasn't necessarily been Niagara's MO, but you can see they're making a conscious effort now, not only to put pressure on, on the point guards, but on the perimeter as well.
Mullings walks it up. He's got Sam Muldrow on him. Up top, they'll reset with Cassius Robertson, 13 on the clock. Takes the screen from Sam Muldrow. Muldrow's hanging out there at the three-point line after popping, and it's short, no good. Marcus Anderson with the rebound.
That's a good shot. It's an open shot.
Jabari Craig on the baseline. Surveying, he finds Marcus Anderson on the wing. They send 2 guys his way. The length of Muldrow bothering Anderson there. It's knocked away. It'll be Nighthawks ball still.
I'm impressed with Muldrow. Even on that defensive, Mullings made a late call for Muldrow to get out, hedged out hard, got a tip on the ball.
He's a big dude, too. It doesn't really strike you as a guy who can come out and get out to the perimeter, but he certainly can.
I heard he wasn't the quickest laterally, and I'm actually impressed with him.
Arledge backs down Boucard. That's no good. Muldrow with the rebound. Trey Bell Haynes will push it back the other way for Niagara, just about at the 5-minute mark of the first quarter. Takes the screen, does Cassius Robertson, finds Muldrow again. He's working at the elbow, little handoff with Mullings. He'll drive against Craig, and that is swatted away by Jabari Craig.
They've done, I think, these teams have had like we said earlier, these teams have had a chance to scout now, and I think I can see from the efforts with Mullings, they're really trying to sit on his right hand and not allow him to really get to his comfort zone, per se.
We have a River Lions ball on the baseline. 4:51 to play.
Terrell Green is just checked in. This guy, he's shooting 80% from 3 right now.
And we have reached the first media timeout here at Meridian Center between the Nighthawks and the River Lions. More coming up on the other side here on CBC Gem. And for the
It was a code 10, hard water again. Worst part is Claire was unaware.
Hey, Culligan, our water makes my skin and hair feel like I'm 90.
Okay, are you 90?
I'm not.
Okay, secondly, how do you feel about high-efficiency water softeners from Culligan Water?
What?
And thirdly, how do you feel about smoother skin and luxurious hair?
Goodly. I feel very good about that.
That's the power of water. Stay soft, right?
You stay soft.
Good water doesn't just come to you. Oh, wait. In this case, yes, it did.
Follow the Niagara River Lions on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the River Lions have to offer. Follow the Guelph Nighthawks on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the Nighthawks have to offer.
Welcome back inside Meridian Center. Sean Woodley, Javon Shepard here as the Niagara River Lions lead the Guelph Nighthawks 8-7. A reminder to pick up the latest River Lions and Nighthawks gear exclusively from New Era, the official merchandise partner of the CEBL. And it's 7 teams across Canada. Visit CEBL.ca and click on Shop. They've got some wonderful gear for you over there as Cassius Robertson walks it up. Guillaume Boucard backing down, tries to find Ryan Edgem in traffic. He can't. Scramble for the ball. And it's picked up here by Tyrell Tate, coming off the bench here after starting the first 2 games here for Guelph.
See some man-to-man action now.
Miles Jarvis up top with Mullings on him. Takes the screen from Tyrell Green. Down low, Tredarius McCallum is fouled going up, and he is going to go to the line. Tredarius McCallum, one of the import players here for
And this, we want to get this under control easy. Miles, again, we spoke about this in the pregame. This is a guy you want to pressure as soon as he touches the ball. If you can, don't even let him get the ball because he's creating for guys, and he's not only a threat for himself, but he's not only a threat with the ball, but he's a threat, passing and making plays for everybody else to get them in scoring positions.
Absolutely. Tredarius McCallum, a 6'7" forward from DePaul, played for the Windy City Bulls of the NBA G League last year. Number of guys who have G League experience have played in the league either this year or last year.
It's funny, I spoke to Charles Kissy earlier in the week, and he mentioned teams are overlooking them, assuming that they don't really have the wow factor to their roster. But he did mention, like, we have guys that have played at, very high levels, and even a guy like Olu Famatimi, this is a guy that's been playing for 15 years at a high level. McDonald's All-American. So it's funny to hear, and good to see him still out there and checked in.
Dorian Pinson recently checked into the game here. He gives it over to Cassius Robertson in the lane. Ryan Edgem, I should say defending CEBL champion Ryan Edgem, who played for the Saskatchewan Rattlers last year after starting the season with the Hamilton Honey Badgers, was kind of victim of the big roster turnover that the Honey Badgers had late in the season. And Edgem found himself in Saskatchewan and found himself with a ring. He has it now. He finds himself with the ball at the free throw line. He'll go up, and he's going to be called for the charge as Terrell Tate gets in there to take it. That did not look like it didn't hurt.
Yeah, a little soft touch. But you know what? That's one of the plays where you need to give it up. There's 2 guys in the corner, one more pass, open shot, get it to a guy like Ryan Anderson, who's a knockdown 3. Better play. Give it up for a better play.
Tyrone Watson also recently checked into the game here for Niagara as well, a New Mexico State product. Olu Famatimi, the veteran up top. McCallum, Tyrell Green, 10 on the clock. McCallum has Edgem on him. He finds a way around off glass. No good, but a foul is called on Ryan Edgem. And McCallum's going to go to the line once again.
They bailed McCallum out on this play, but Niagara can be a really tough team defensively. If you noticed a while ago, they switched on the perimeter from 1 through 5, which a lot of teams won't be able to do. And also, they still have the size down low to battle with some of your bigger players. So this definitely can be a great defensive team.
That's the thing with this Niagara team is after Sam Muldrow, it's 6'7" or lower for everybody else, and that, might be viewed as some sort of disadvantage, but it does allow you to switch across the board, right?
Right.
McCallum.
Calling for one early. He's a little winded.
Not surprising. I mean, I know how much I've sat on the couch during
COVID
during
or isolation.
quarantine.
And keep in mind that these guys have been here. They've been isolated for 2 weeks, as well as just a week training camp. So
Yeah.
it's to be expected.
Randy Glaze into the game as well. Tyrone Watson backing down. Up high, swung around. Dorian Pinson, no good. Picked
Dorian
up there
Pinson.
by Terrell Tate.
I like him, Mr. Triple-Double. He was the first to have a triple-double in CEBL history.
First and only as
First
of
and
this
only.
moment.
So right now, Mr. Triple-Double.
Miles Charvis. Terrell Tate, they swing it around. McCallum for 3. That's no good, just a little bit short, and Ryan Anderson has the ball.
Guelph is doing a really good job of moving that ball and getting guys open shots.
Dorian Pinson over to Anderson. Cassius Robertson, who took advantage of the CEBL last year, went to Summer League for the Charlotte Hornets, and then got a contract in Bologna over in Italy midway through the summer.
He's a really good player. He can really shoot. He can really put it on the floor and get to the basket and score. I'm still waiting for that breakout game here in the CEBL, but I'm sure it will come. And, he's a guy you actually don't want to get hot. I want to see it, but I'm sure Guelph does not want to see it tonight.
Joel Friesen checks into the game here for Guelph. The first overall pick in the first ever CEBL draft last year for the Fraser Valley Bandits. Tough year for Joel Friesen and the entire Fraser Valley Bandits squad. You'll see the Bandits coming up a little bit later on today as they take on the Saskatchewan Rattlers, a battle of the 2 undefeated teams remaining, Javon.
Right. One of those teams are going to leave with a loss tonight. 2 really good teams. I think Saskatchewan came out the other night and really surprised, even though they are the defending champs, surprised with the win they had. But they are 2 really good teams, 2 really well put together teams. Saskatchewan's built on a lot of length, so we'll see. We'll get to see them a lot later tonight.
Yeah, we will talk a lot about those teams a little bit later on. We'll continue the focus here on the River Lions and the Nighthawks. It's 11-8 for Guelph with 2:19 to play here in the first quarter. Miles Charvis, the former Ryerson legend, walking it up. Probing. 17 on the clock as he resets up top. Little handoff with Terrell Tate. Tate in the lane. That's good. The floater for Terrell Tate.
Got right into the core of the defense.
Tate played 19 games last year with the Fraser Valley Bandits. Shot 40% from 3. Started 17 of those games as well. As a miss there underneath. And the Nighthawks go back the other way. Tyrell Green up top.
That's a
Jarvis.
Good job.
Oh, and Joel Friesen was cutting in from the corner there.
You know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. Miles is getting into the core of the defense, drive, have the defense collapse, kick it. Just a miscue. Guys will get to the corner the next time around.
That's sort of a chemistry thing, right, too. I mean, these guys have only had 2 weeks themselves to kind of get acquainted with one another, right?
Right.
It's all still kind of growing pains here as you start into the real games.
Right, but 2 games in, round robin, now we don't have the luxury of waiting. You have to make moves now. Guys have to start figuring it out now.
Tyrone Watson shakes Terrell Tate out of his shoes, puts it up and in. Joel Friesen walks it up. 13-10 for Guelph.
You can see the pace slowing down a bit now. Guys are a bit gassed. They're looking to set up their half-court offense. Olu, what's that, a foul on the side?
Stepped out of bounds, Olu Famatimi, it looks like, and it's going to be River Lions ball with 1:10 remaining. Emmanuel Owutawa out of Brock University checks in here.
I'm high on this guy. U-Sport guy. He can really put pressure on the basketball. He can create in the half court. And he's tough. He's tough as nails.
His head coach at Brock, Willie Manigat, on the bench here for Niagara. And Jahens Manigat, the brother of Willie, is playing for the Fraser Valley Bandits a little bit later on today.
Setting up the out of bounds here. See, this is where you want guys to set up, get into their baseline out of bounds a little sooner.
Ryan Anderson in the corner, 8 on the clock. Gets hemmed in, but he finds Tyrone Watson. He in the paint, turns around, 1 on the clock, no good. But they get it back. Owutawa underneath the basket. Can't get it to go. And Guelph recovers it. Maybe should have reset there.
Should have reset, but the problem there I have is that's another offensive rebound. We really have to control that if these guys have a chance of winning in this game.
Offensive foul being called here against Terrell Tate. .35 seconds left here. There is Dorian Pinson to Owutawa in the backcourt.
See, this is a nice match for these 2 guys.
Anderson from the wing for three. That's no good. Rebounded by Terrell Green. The shot clock is off. 17 seconds here. They'll hold for the last shot. Olufamatimi. Here is Charvis. He's got Owutua on him. 7 seconds to go in the quarter. He'll deny the screen from Green, get into the paint, and it's wide open for Miles Charvis. Vic Razzo displeased as the breakdown there leads to a bucket for Guelph. And they will go into the second quarter with a 15-10 lead on the Niagara River Lions on the second quarter. Coming up, a whole bunch more here on CBC Gem and CJOY 1460 in Guelph.
What is 100 years? In 1920, Erhard Cook turned a passion for headwear into the New Era Cap Company in Buffalo, New York. But everyone was making this kind of hat. So we came up with the big idea to make the best caps for the biggest sport. But something wasn't quite right. We wanted to show the logos with pride. And just like that, the iconic 5950 was born, changing the baseball cap forever. For the first time, the caps the pros wore on the field were officially sold in stores. And then something unique happened. Spike Lee called, the Spike Lee, and asked to have a red Yankees cap to match his jacket. We asked Major League Baseball, and they said, we had a chance to be disruptive. Spike's red cap launched sports headwear into a wider culture. Hip-hop made it a staple. Creators made it their own. Colors, fabrics, patterns. It was more than just your favorite team. And a gold sticker on the visor became as iconic as the cap itself. And those 4 numbers, we think it's an original production number. We don't know for sure, but we love them. From courtside to Crenshaw, from the 50 to 5th, it shouted that this is who you were, what you repped, and where you lived. The world saw it and wanted it. Where were we? Staying true to our roots. Fans of all sports became fans of us. People liked what we were doing, so our brand grew, and we became more than just a cap. That's 100 years. We thank you. Enjoy what comes next.
(15-10), the Guelph Nighthawks lead. Javon, what happened here on this final possession of the first quarter?
You know what? This play broke down way before this exact moment because Miles is a guy, he's been getting guys involved. So on this right to left, I think most of the defense, the help side, was worried about his kickouts. C opens up, easy layup.
We got a foul called here. Foul's on Grandy Glaze, who spent last year with the Edmonton Stingers. So the line is Tredarius McCallum.
Guelph has done a really good job of converting and capitalizing on Niagara's turnovers. They have 13 points off of those turnovers, which has obviously been the bulk of their points.
McCallum leads all scorers right now with still 7 points. 4-4 from the line.
Guys look a bit flat.
Yeah, it's a bit of a raggedy start. You know,
Right.
you're often seeing, I think, in the CEBL, the sort of quick, fast pace end to end. It's hard to sort of set up in the half court a lot of the time.
Right.
It's been a much more of a half court style game here.
I'll say this: the team that starts to communicate more defensively and we start to hear them more will probably be the team that's going to come out on top in this game.
Owutua has Charvis on him. Down to Pinson. He'll swing it there in the middle to Tyrone Watson, and that is good off glass for Tyrone Watson.
And that's what we wanted, for them to win. We spoke about, I keep harping on it, pre-game we spoke about it, points in the paint, points in the paint. If they can dominate the points in the paint, they have a really good, they're heavier, so they have a really good chance of wearing this team down, this Guelph team down.
Joel Friesen will drive it off glass with the left hand. Nice finish there for Joel Friesen.
Rookie and the vet.
Watson and Friesen. They're going to call a jump here, and it's going to stay with the River Lions.
Oh, no. He bear hugged him. You know what? That's why I'm over here. I couldn't take that anymore.
Tyrone Watson is not a man I want to get in the way of either.
No. I'll stay out of his way. I mean, I
don't want to get in any of these guys' way, even like Emmanuel Owutu at 5'11".
Right.
Destroy me. I'm a frail little man. There is Tyrone Watson putting up and in.
Points in the paint.
18-14 the score now for the Nighthawks.
You know, impressive about Miles, he has his Achilles ruptured, 5-6 months ago. Just to see him back out here and as active as he is, he looks like he put on a little weight so that he can compete a bit more, be a little bit more physical to match his speed. I'm really impressed with that.
That he can quickly come back
No.
from.
That not at all.
Underneath, Grandy Glaze, he'll jam it on the assist from Ryan Anderson. Grandy Glaze doing some work.
I'd like to see Niagara get Ryan Anderson a bit more involved. He's a guy that you're going to need over the stretch. He's a vet. He's been here last year. He understands what his role is. He understands what they need to do to win in order to win.
Tredarius McCallum tries to finish the oop, and it does not quite go down the other way. Watson barreling once again into Friesen, and they're going to call a charge on him.
Friesen's down.
Sorry, that's Corey Johnson.
Is it? Oh. You know, Corey did a really good job. Watson dipped his left shoulder, and he just timed it, got in front of him, took the charge. Like I said earlier, these guys are starting to read their scouting reports. Teams are, they have their makeups, have their tendencies, and guys are locking in on that now. You see, earlier on, they were locking in on Daniel Mulling's right hand. Tyrone Watson, they're playing him for the drive down low. So definitely a benefit to now have seen a couple of games, and guys can lock in on that.
Tyrell Green will drive. That's great looking move off the glass for Tyrell Green.
And that, I don't know if it was in the scouting report. That's a guy, he's shooting 80% from 3 right now, so I would have played him for the 3 as well.
Dorian Pinson will walk it up. That's the thing about this River Lions team is everyone can kind of handle it a little bit.
Right.
Pinson nominally a 4. Loses it there. Here's Tyrell Green. And a foul is going to be called there on Trey Bell Haynes, and Tyrell Green's going to go to the line. Coventry is the official transportation partner of the CEBL Summer Series. Big thanks to them for getting these guys around from the hotel to the practice facility to the arena, the 3 safe zones here for the CEBL Summer Series.
This Guelph team's really unselfish. You see they've really been able to get up the floor. Every night it's been a different guy. The other night last game was Reynolds that really got the ball in transit. He was the beneficiary of a lot of transition buckets. Now we see Terrell. This is 2 buckets in a row where he, somebody headed the ball and got to the basket.
Into the game is Jamal Reynolds, as you mentioned, a returning player for the Guelph Nighthawks. The Nighthawks last year, bit of a weird season. They had a coaching change midway when Coach Hissey came in. And their games, as someone who called a lot of their games, super fun. It was either they were up 20 and coming back or down 20, or giving up the lead or down 20 and coming back. Didn't lead to great results, but they were certainly fun.
But you know what? Kissie's had a full year under his belt now to implement his system, recruit his guys, and I think, we're seeing that now.
Mm-hmm.
Guys that buy into that, that's also a key component. Guys that buy into what your coaching philosophy is very important as well.
The foul's called on Tyrell Green here. Baseline inbound. Tyrone Watson on the baseline, posting up. Sees a couple bodies, finds Grandy Glaze through the traffic, and Glaze finishes off glass. Nice look there from Tyrone Watson. John Arledge swung around. Jarvis up top into the lane. Nice little dump-off pass. And
there we go.
Oh, they're going to call an offensive foul, a push on John Arledge, and it's going to go the other way here for the River Lions.
What do you do if you have Grandy Glaze and Tyrone Watson down on the block defensively? You guys are extremely physical. They're playing well together as well. A lot of high-low action. Both of them are looking for each other.
Trey Bell Haynes drives off glass. That's no good. Just lips out. And a fight for the ball, and it's a jump, and it's going to go possession arrow to the Guelph Nighthawks. A reminder, as part of the CEBL social justice work that's going on, you're going to hear players, coaches, and staff speaking out against racism. Racism is not our game is the featured quote at each baseline and on the back of the warm-up shirts, as well as a reminder of the work that we all need to do to work for equality in Canada. It's all of our responsibility, educating yourself, having tough conversations, all something you need to be doing. There is Jamal Reynolds, tries to get it to go off glass, no good, finds his miss, and he's going to go to the line. And a bit of a stop and start quarter here, Jamal.
Yeah, I think both these teams are getting away from what they really do well. I know Niagara has really tried to force the issue one-on-one. I think they need to get back to some more, team play, drive, kicks, get Cassius Robertson involved. Trey Bell Haynes, I think, he's a guy that can really get guys involved, get some pick and roll going. I know Sam Muldrow's on the bench, but if we can, I would try and get him back in there at some point. They were doing really well when they had him in the ball screens, and they could, drive into the center of the key and then have him as a perimeter shooter.
It's 23-18. Now 24-18 as you see the distinctive one-handed free throw stroke of Jamal Reynolds. And the Guelph Nighthawks lead by 6. Trey Bell Haynes with the ball in his hands. He'll take the screen. Or slips the screen, does Grandy Glaze, but Haynes now down to Mullings. He's got Jarvis on him. He'll try to back him down. Mullings goes up, no good. Glaze tries to get in there. Boucard tries to get in there. And it's going to be off a river line and Guelph ball.
We've seen a lot of that. They've been forcing the issue on this right block here. And the help side is coming on the weak side, on the low side actually. So I don't know what Niagara's really trying to look for at this point, but Guelph is really doing a good job of sending that weak side defender.
Here is Miles Jarvis. He's got Boucard on him. He'll dump it down to Green with the smaller Haynes on him. Goes baseline, but loses it. And it's going to go to the River Lions. Still 24-18.
Yeah, he lost that one early. Seen a mismatch, but Trey did stand his ground. See Guelph picking up the pressure right now. Could we be seeing a full court press?
Sort of a soft full court press. Yeah.
Soft press. Just a bluff.
Can't hurt to keep them on their toes. There's Mullings in the lane, and that is swatted away by John Arledge, who has something to say about it.
And that's what he does. He's leading the league right now, 2 blocks per game. A guy like that is really important for the success of your team because if he's not blocking shots, he's still deterring, guys from getting into the paint.
Reach the media timeout here in the second quarter. More to come on the other side here on CBC Gem and CJOY 14-6.
Well, when I was younger in high school, I was a pretty good athlete. Went to the provincial championships in most sports like volleyball, track, basketball, and of course the goalie. But lately I've been going up the stairs like Fred Sanford. That's why I use Inflamex. Remember, 2 M's, 2 X's.
Inflamex is formulated to relieve joint pain, helps address pain and inflammation at the cellular level, and is GMO-free and allergen-free.
I'm doing better with a little help from my friends at Bell Lifestyle Products, so you can do the things that you do best.
Oh, yeah!
Spend 2 nights in Ottawa and get $100 spending money on us. Dinner and drinks? It's on us. Or culture and sightseeing? It's on us. So relax. It's on us. Spend 2 nights and get $100.
A mark of legacy, a mark of our game. Spalding is the official basketball partner of the CEBL. Get your replica CEBL game ball now at cebl.ca and take our game to your courts.
Most of our clients who come through our door and who are suffering from mental illness, they're feeling a sense of despair and a longing for help. Often, insurance companies are denying disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We've represented hundreds of clients who suffer from anxiety or depression. We fight for our clients' right to receive the compensation they deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. We can help.
Your long-term disability firm, Kotak Law.
Both teams still looking to find their offensive footing here. Sean Woodley here with Javon Shepard as the River Lions and Nighthawks duke it out in a low-scoring affair in the middle of the second quarter. 24-18, the Guelph Nighthawks lead. Javon, neither team really finding their offensive gear just yet.
No, there's a lid on the basket. You have Guelph here shooting 16% from the 3, while Niagara shooting 25%. So I imagine these guys are going to get their rhythm a bit later.
Cassius Robertson gets fouled on the three-point attempt. He's going to go to the line to shoot 3. Again, Robertson started the season off last year with the River Lions, got the call down to Summer League with the Charlotte Hornets, played well down there, and then signed over with Bologna in Italy as he...
You know, when you're a guy that can shoot the ball, that's an art, that's a skill that not many guys have that, you know, can shoot it at the level that he can.
Amy Audibert, you have something for us.
Well, I spoke to River Lions assistant Jeff Joseph a couple days ago about Cassius Robertson because it's his second year with the team and he's such a good player. But how did he get better since last season? And Coach told me, well, he's got an insane work ethic, so it wasn't much of a surprise. But he gained some good weight, so he thinks, Coach said, Cassius is moving very well, but not only that, because he's gained a bit of weight, he's stronger and he's able to absorb a lot more contact. Also, his skill level is insane, but it keeps getting better because he's in the gym for 4 to 6 hours some days. Sean?
Thank you, Amy. I guess the weight that Cassius Robertson has put on has been useful weight. I have added, you know, Cheeto weight during quarantine. A little bit different.
I'd have to say the same myself.
A bit of a confusion here, I think, as
interesting. Niagara hasn't shot a free throw yet in this game.
Yes, so some shot clock confusion. It's going to be 20 seconds on the clock here. As the clock started moving as the ball was not yet inbounded. And Jamal Reynolds goes all the way, streaks to a bucket.
You can't have that.
Taking advantage of the confusion, I suppose.
You can't have that.
That's the second notable breakdown.
I'm actually surprised Coach Razzo was able to stay so calm.
Here's Sam Muldrow for 3. That's no good. Picked up by Reynolds. But it's going to be knocked out by Reynolds as he tries to secure possession. It's going to stick with Niagara.
That's okay. That's okay. Trey, again, used a ball screen, got into the gut of the defense. Big man didn't step out on, you know, big man helped. Sam was open.
And we got an over and back here. A bit of a miscue. You're not used to seeing the River Lions not looking sharp. They look great in their first game.
And they look, you know, guys look frustrated. If you look at their, you know, look at them right now, shoulders are down, heads down. And that was my only concern with this team is that when things aren't, when they're going through a little adversity, who's going to step up and lead? Who's going to be the one that's going to say rally guys together and be an extension of Coach Victor Razzo on the court?
And this is a team that was 15-5 last year and was the class of the CEBL with a lot of returning players, plus the likes of Daniel Mullings brought into the mix as well. You would figure that they'd get it sorted out here soon, but again, a short sample size in the series, it's tough to turn things around.
Yeah.
A reminder to support your local team. Get the latest news, videos, and highlights through Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Follow Niagara at River Lions and Guelph at G Nighthawks on all of the various social platforms. Trey Bell-Haynes gets it down low, and another defensive stand here for the Nighthawks. 26-19 they lead. The bench is going crazy over there.
But this has been their bread and butter all night. Again, now they have 17 points off of turnovers, and they're racking them up. So they're really, you know, applying a lot of pressure and forcing tough decisions, even if they're not getting steals or getting hands on the ball. And deflections, you know, deflections are something. Oh, that's another in the corner.
Tyrell Green for 3. No good on the high arcing rainbow. And it's picked up by Cassius Robertson under the 5-minute mark now here in the second quarter. Cassius Robertson. Up top, Sam Muldrow gives it back to Robertson. 15 on the clock. He's got the bigger Arledge on him. Can he try to take advantage of the speed advantage? He does. He gets fouled by Arledge in the open court. And the clock will reset to 14.
Right, and it just like I was saying, deflections, you know, they slow your offense down and create an advantage for you because now you're able to reset your defense, if not get the steal and get back out in the open court.
Just a reminder, at River Lions on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and at G Nighthawks to follow both of these squads. Lots of great video content being put out across the board with all these teams, highlights, little documentaries, and a trap there at the half court. Robertson finds his way out of it. Trey Bell-Haynes in the corner for 3. That's no good. Muldrow with it on the offensive glass. That's a big board. Here's Boucard in the lane. Kicks out. Trey Bell-Haynes will drive. He'll put it up. That's no good. And they can't take advantage of what was a pretty good-looking possession for the first time in a while.
You know, we didn't get a steal off of Guelph didn't get the steal rather off of the double team, but what it did is it sped up Niagara, and we seen with the shot that Trey ended up taking.
Tyrell Green misses the three in the corner. It almost seemed to me like the River Lions moving and driving and kicking there a little bit is kind of forced by the fact that there was the trap and a little bit of time left on the clock as Trey Belhange drives. That's no good.
He may have got away with the travel.
Boucard on the offensive glass. He gets stonewalled by Arledge. He picks it up, and now it's Terrell Tate with numbers, 3-on-2. Kimball McKenzie for three.
That's a great find.
That's no good. Reynolds almost gets the putback to go.
You know what? That's still a great shot. Guys are all getting touches on the ball, so everybody stays happy. And you see they're a bit more active on the defensive end. Make or miss, guys feel involved in the game.
A lot of stagnancy here for the River Lions as well. No one really moving, not a lot of off-ball action. Just kind of trading them off possessions. Here's Trey Belhange drives, and he's going to go to the line. Maybe these points can get the River Lions going a little bit, but not much in the way of off-ball work here for the River Lions.
And the ball, everybody's really stagnant. Guelph is able to shrink the court. I think they're playing off of Trey Bell a little more than any other player, just because they know he's not going to. His first thought is not to take the shot.
Is that part of the sort of struggle of having so little time? Is it hard to sort of incorporate a lot of intricate off-ball stuff in your offense? Is it something where it has to be more kind of simplistic, or what's going on here with the River Lions?
With the timetable, you have to start small, and add things as we go on. Again, less is more. You can't really throw a lot of things at guys because, one, they're all coming from different schools, different philosophies of basketball. Two, even from a simple standpoint of you can't do too many plays with too many complex names because guys, you still have to give guys time to learn. Everybody has a different learning curve when it comes to basketball.
We got a timeout here called by the Guelph Nighthawks. We're going to stick with you through the timeout. It's 26-21 for Guelph. So, Javon, 3:13 left here in the quarter. Still, the offense is not exactly ticking. What are we looking for here in the final 3 minutes from both of these teams, in particular Niagara, which has just not really had it on offense so far?
I think Niagara needs to slow down and need to get into a half-court set, run some guys off some staggers, get the ball moving, get guys touches. I think for a guy like Ryan Anderson, we haven't seen much of him, but we also haven't seen him active with the ball. I think that guy that's been here, a guy that knows the team, knows the system, that's the guy you need to get the ball because he's an unselfish player. He'll get the ball where it needs to be. He'll knock down open shots, and he'll make plays. Also, a guy like Sam Muldrow, he's a guy that you need to get involved. Even in the block, we've ran a lot of plays from a lot of pick and rolls where we drew some attention and kicked it out to him. But now let's get him in the blocks. Let's work inside out and simplify the game. We have a lot of one-on-one basketball right now, and it's really not working for them.
But, I mean, Guelph's making them work for it as well defensively, right? I mean, John Arledge has been excellent in the middle there. Marcus Anderson checks back in now. This can't be a sight for sore eyes, at least for the River Lions, because of what he does on the ball defensively as well. This is, they're doing a really great job so far.
You know what? We really haven't even seen what Guelph is running offensively because they've done such a good job getting in the passing lanes, forcing turnovers, getting deflections, getting in the open court and converting that we really haven't had to see them in the half court much. So
9 of their 26 points also coming from the line as well.
Right.
So taking advantage of their 9 of 10 so far. Terrell Tate on the wing. He's got Trey Belhange on him. Tries to put it up and no good.
And that's not a shot you want coming out of a timeout here.
Here's Trey Belhange, finds Watson. Stopped in there in the lane.
You have to kick that to the corner.
Here's Cassius Robertson. He'll drive. Kicks out. Mullings, drive again. Little floater. And that's good. Nice possession there.
You see, we had on that play, we had 4 guys touch the basketball, and we end up with something, end up with a good play out of that.
Marcus Anderson, the Carleton University, near and dear to my heart as a Carleton grad. Carleton University star, 2-time Canadian Defensive Player of the Year.
I imagine you're having a tough time with Ottawa's start.
Yeah, it's all Ottawa guys. You're right. It's there's a couple Ottawa U guys there, which kind of makes me conflicted, of course, but. Yeah, Dave Smart and Naj Jency, near and dear to me. Here's Sam Muldrow putting it on the deck.
Yeah.
It's not going to go. And no foul called there.
Guelph, again, did a really good job of denying the wings.
McCallum finds Terrell Tate. Soft little drop in the basket, and it's 28-23 for Guelph. 2 minutes to go. Here's Muldrow. He'll pump fake drive. Little mid-range jumper. That's good for Sam Muldrow.
You know what? This is still a good matchup. Jabari Craig can match him with size, and he's a bit more agile. So I'd like to see how these two are going to pan out over the course of this match. That's
Take
a
a
big
look
man.
there,
With
yeah.
a touch like that, it's hard to defend. Like at that size, that touch.
Marcus Anderson, he's good from downtown. That's been the one part of his game that's been missing so far is canning those wide open threes, but he gets it to go there. Match that with the excellent defense that he's playing right now on Traybell Haynes, and that's a problem. Haynes runs into a few guys, finds Muldrow for three. That is good. Sam Muldrow keeping the offense alive for the River Lions.
He's special. There's no way you can defend that. There's nothing you can do with that.
Marcus Anderson walks it back up. Playing some point here. Up to Jabari Craig, a little bit too close to the rim. Couldn't jam it down. And it's the other way. The River Lions now just within three can tie it here with a three ball. Cassius Robertson surveying. He's got Tate on him. Denies the screen. Into the paint. Kicks it out. Traybell Haynes drives once again.
One more.
A little bit more from the offense. 7 on the clock. Cassius Robertson, and that's a tough baseline jumper.
Tough. That's tough. But if that's the way they're going to beat us, we'll take that. Again,
sorry, go ahead.
No, again, Sam, he's a guy who's really special. Trey's coming off the ball screens, forcing Sam's defender to play him, or he has a layup at the basket. If not, kicks out to Sam, open shots. I think that's really gotten their offense flowing, opens things up for them, forces that defender to make a decision.
So now 31-30 here for the Guelph Nighthawks as they gear up for a big possession here as they try to extend that lead. There's an 11-second difference, shot clock, game clock, so they might try to go for a quick 2-for-1 here perhaps.
2-for-1, I'd go get a quick shot. Same play we ran before, a ball screen. Let's get it up to, I believe it was Jabari Craig. Just get up a little higher. You can't defend up above on the rim. Get it to him, let's get back, get a stop, and finish it out. Finish the quarter out with a basket. Stop in a basket. Bucket, stop, bucket.
That's the dream, isn't it? That's the Kyle Lowry fantasy, the king of the 2-for-1. Again, 35 seconds to go here. Lots of great stuff coming up for you at halftime as well. So stay tuned for that. Amy Audibert will have a player interview with the star of the first half, yet to be determined. We could decide that here on this final sequence.
I'm going to guess we're not going with a quick play at all. No. Coach Kissy was drawing up a bit too much for it to be a quick hitter.
I mean, the returns on a 2-for-1, if you are forcing a shot, then what's the point, right? If you're forcing a bad look on the quick shot.
This won't be a 2-for-1. I see too many.
Dorian Pinson checks in here. Again, 11 seconds difference. Tredarius McCallum will chat with our Amy Audibert at the end of the half here.
I guess I was right.
Olu Famatimi swings it around. Anderson will drive into the teeth of the defense. Tyrone Watson strips it away. 18 seconds to go. The shot clock is off. And they'll reset it and take the last shot. Cassius Robertson up high with Terrell Tate on him. 10 seconds on the clock. He sizes up Tate. Goes right. Finds. Pinson wasn't quite ready with the hands up for the very good-looking pass from Cassius Robertson. 3 seconds to go here.
Pinson
Maybe
does
a bit
not
of a
look
heave.
the most confident right now in the last couple of games I've seen him.
Tate, no good. And we move into halftime. 31-30 the score. The Guelph Nighthawks lead the Niagara River Lions on the second day of a back-to-back for them, which they're looking pretty good for a team that should be on some tired legs.
Yeah, they've been able to get out and push the ball. They've, I think they're finding their rhythm now, so they really know where they're going to get the ball. They know what they want to do defensively, and again, they've had some time to scout, so you can slow the game down a bit for them.
And we'll send it on down now to Amy Audibert with Tredarius McCallum of the Guelph Nighthawks.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. 17 of your team's points are off of turnovers. What's working so well on the defensive end for your squad?
Just really ball pressure, really. Just trying to get into the guys, make sure they can't run the offense. Just being aggressive, make sure we take the first punch, make sure they know we're here for a statement. Just ball pressure, really, just trying to get into them, be disruptive.
Solid first half for you personally, 8 points, but 5 of those from the free throw line. So how are you picking apart the River Lions defense?
Just being aggressive, doing what I do, being versatile. Coach is telling me to be aggressive, so just trying to get to the rack because I haven't been to the free throw line as much, not to rely on my shot. just really do anything to get junk points, tip-ins, rebounds, anything like that, steals. Just really stay in the motion.
Last question. This is a tight one right now. So assuming it seems close, now you've got some Elam experience. What are you expecting that final frame?
It's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a dogfight the rest of the game. They're only up 1, so just finish the game pretty much.
Well, hey, I certainly hope it is. We'll go back to you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, I've been working like 3 jobs. Probably why I never see ya. Probably why I never have time for the fake friends that won't be ya. Oh God, I've been running now. Up early when the sun is out. Not selling out my own soul, but those real ones, they coming out. Oh, look who's reaching out. Old friends wanna feature now. They don't work, so they need it free. Ooh, you reaching out from the west side of that old town, but there's no shows till I go down to the open mic. Show love to the real ones that know now. Some of y'all don't know now. In a couple months, you gon' find out. Been blowing up from the underground, and they stepping on and land mine now. And he knows it's my time now. Coming up, I'm on a climb now. Everybody claim they been ballin', but it's looking like they took a time out. Okay, I'm working on a Wednesday, then up again the next day. So-and-so is popping, man, I skip him like he leg day. Kick it like I'm Pele, I never care what they say. Put myself on Spotify, so every day my payday. That realness, don't feel this, but I've been sick, that illness. I've been fresh like Will Smith since 94, man, I built this. Stressed out, X'd out, missed calls from my ex now, but I'm staying focused in the lab, baby, I don't need your calls or your text now. God say the boy blessed now. Who am I to say Rondo? And the way that I sell ticks, they been calling me Rondo. 23 in my prime though, finna ball like Lonzo. Go and tell everybody talking stage better be in that convo.
It was a Saturday. Chris was a good dad. His water practices, not so much. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Culligan. Got a water pitcher for the fam. Pretty safe, huh?
Well, basic water pitchers are passable, whereas a Culligan reverse osmosis system can reduce lead, arsenic, pesticide runoff.
You realize these have filters?
Chris, pour it out.
It's not going fast enough. Just done with that.
When your water's right, so is your world. I wrote that!
31-30, the Guelph Nighthawks lead the Niagara River Lions after one half of action here at Meridian Center. Coming up in the half, we've got a word from our sponsors, followed by a recap of yesterday's games, and then an interview, a sit-down interview between Amy Audibert and Mike Moriality, the commissioner of the CEBL. All that and more in the halftime show here on CBC Gem.
Welcome to Payworks. We're payroll, HR, and time and absence management experts. So whether your business has thousands of employees or just one, let us show you how we're different. We're Payworks, and we're doing business to business, person to person.
A mark of legacy, a mark of our game. Spalding is the official basketball partner of the CEBL. Get your replica CEBL game ball now at CEBL.ca and take our game to your courts.
Most of our clients who come through our door and who are suffering from mental illness, they're feeling a sense of despair and a longing for help. Often, insurance companies are denying disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We've represented hundreds of clients who suffer from anxiety or depression. We fight for our clients' right to receive the compensation they deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. We can help.
Your long-term disability firm, Kotak Law.
It's time to rep your CEBL pride, Canada. Exclusive New Era merchandise is now available on CEBL.ca. Buy your favorite hats, replica jerseys, t-shirts, hoodies, and more. Welcome to our game. River Lions fans, right now you can get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit riverlions.ca and take advantage of this exclusive summer series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience. Nighthawks fans, right now you can get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit thenighthawks.ca and take advantage of this exclusive summer series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience.
Day 3 getting underway. The Honey Badgers and the Nighthawks. Owen Klassen wins it one of the great stories of the CEBL. And look at Arledge, ball fake, two-handed crush to 16 for the Honey Badgers. Up top, Dwayne Notice, Owen Klassen hooking it up on the alley-oop connect. Summer Series and a 3 by Green to start off the second quarter. That didn't take long. Joe cutting the lead to 2. Weber, look at him. Get right in the grill. Weber, fadeaway. Ooh, good D, better O. He ends up taking it back up top. Great look down low. Dwayne Notice says no. Dwayne Notice with a little Dikembe Mutombo action there. Taking Reynolds to the hole. If there's anybody who should have ended this game, it is that man right there, Dwayne Notice, putting it on ice for the Honey Badgers. They get in the win column. He is nothing but business. Professional careers that are starting here that will be leapfrogged out of this, and it's the Blackjacks winning the tip. Diawara down to Daniels, and a big-time block, Jean-Emmanuel Pierre-Charles. Looks like he's always in control. And there's a block by Daniels, a 24-second shot clock violation. On the floor, in transition, Brad Mescal to Tommy Scrubb, getting up to throw down. He fires it, comes back to Moon, 8 on the shot clock, off the Daniels screen. Oh, he splits the D, drops it off to Baker. Xavier Moon for Hannah Mescal. Great deflection and transition. Matthew Kamba with the block on one end and the smash on the other. Matthew Kamba, he called game. He just dropped the mic.
What is 100 years? In 1920, Erhard Cook turned a passion for headwear into the New Era Cap Company in Buffalo, New York. But everyone was making this kind of hat. So we came up with the big idea to make the best caps for the biggest sport. But something wasn't quite right. We wanted to show the logos with pride. And just like that, the iconic 5950 was born, changing the baseball cap forever. For the first time, the caps the pros wore on the field were officially sold in stores. And then something unique happened. Spike Lee called, the Spike Lee, and asked to have a red Yankees cap to match his jacket. We asked Major League Baseball, and they said, we had a chance to be disruptive. Spike's red cap launched sports headwear into a wider culture. Hip-hop made it a staple. Creators made it their own. Colors, fabrics, patterns. It was more than just your favorite team. And a gold sticker on the visor became as iconic as the cap itself. And those 4 numbers, we think it's an original production number. We don't know for sure, but we love them. From courtside to Crenshaw, from the 50 to 5th, it shouted that this is who you were, what you repped, and where you lived. The world saw it and wanted it. Where were we? Staying true to our roots. Fans of all sports became fans of us. People liked what we were doing, so our brand grew, and we became more than just a cap. That's 100 years. We thank you. Enjoy what comes next.
Talking points leading into the summer series has been the Canadian talent, and the amount and the quality has gone right up. I'm really excited, but why do you think some of our best basketball players are coming home to play?
Well, last year, we had the kind of proof of concept phase. We had a tremendous group of basketball players that played, no doubt about it. Many who are still playing here this year. But we started to see, new agents, new players, higher name guys, just knocking on the door. And we added about 75 new players this year. We have over a dozen senior men's national team players. We have guys from all over the G League, from NCAA to U Sport, etc. And the quality of coaching's gone up, the quality of players has gone up, and I think we proved to them, these guys are kind of legit here. And some of it is good karma and silver linings amidst everything that was going on. So all of our best players were home already in March, where they wouldn't have been home till mid-May or even into June. And they weren't going back anywhere else, so we kind of had a really captive audience. and it's worked almost as we scripted it, and I'm really happy about that, and I really can't wait for those guys to return next year and get a feel for the whole experience, right, from their home markets and the whole shooting match. And let's start here and get it off the ground and get it going, and then we'll take the next steps from there. Earlier on today, put your hand up. You know, how many of you guys have buddies that are playing basketball right now? It ain't happening. So this is like the platform. And I'm proud that it's a Canadian platform sprinkled in with some top international players. You know, they're showcasing not only what they do on the court, but how to do it safely and effectively. And I think we're going to be someone that people are able to go to from not only a pro sports level, but more importantly from an amateur sport, a minor sport level, and say, how do we pull this off? Because there's thousands of young kids that need to play and want to play basketball.
Welcome back inside Meridian Center here in beautiful St. Catharines, Ontario, the home of the CEBL Summer Series, as game number 7 gets set to go into half number 2. Javon Shepard here alongside me, Sean Woodley. Javon, 31-30, the Nighthawks lead. A rocky offensive half, but it seemed like Niagara kind of picked things up near the end of that half there.
Yeah,
it's like, did you kind of get a sense they were turning things around?
You know what? It started to turn things around, but I think for both teams, there's been a lid on the basket, especially from the three-point range. You have Guelph shooting 18%, and Niagara shooting about 27% from three. So I think, you know, you have to start getting to the basket a bit more and get guys involved. And guys need to start making open shots now. I think we've got the jitters out, ball's moving around, we got some touches. Now, you know, we have to get in the flow. We have to start making shots, get guys off the staggers, open things up.
The bonus of a low-scoring, close game is that we do get potentially a very close Elam ending, which, keep in mind, at the 4-minute mark of the fourth quarter, that will kick in. We'll tell you more about that. But first, we're going to go over to Amy Audibert, our sideline reporter, with River Lions head coach Vic Razzo.
Thanks, Sean. Coach, I hate to ask you, but I have to. 17 points off of turnovers for Guelph. And so are they doing something crazy defensively, or what's going on up there?
No, I mean, we had a bunch of those were in transition. It was just us making bad passes. A couple times they surprised us on the trap of the ball screen. It's just sloppiness. We just need to take care of that. If we do, I mean, I thought we were phenomenal defensively in the first half. They scored a few points on things that we directly talked about. If we clean that up, I think we're doing a pretty good job, and then hopefully some shots will go in and we don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, because I did look at the box score, and Guelph only has 4 assists on their 10 made field goals. So what is it defensively that's making you guys, that's keeping you in this game?
Well, we know that their strength is offside kickouts and getting you into rotation. So we're switching a lot of stuff. We're making sure that they have to beat us one-on-one for the most part.
Appreciate your time, Coach.
Thanks.
Good luck in the second half. We'll go back to you guys.
Thank you, Amy, and thanks to Coach Razzo. Let's take a look now, Javon. You had your keys to the game at the start of the game. How are the Niagara River Lions holding up to those keys to the games that you laid out ahead of time?
Well, we wanted them to win the rebounding match. They've done so far with 21 rebounds. We also wanted to have some ball pressure on Miles Jarvis, which he hasn't been as effective today. I don't know if he's just not in rhythm, but he hasn't been making as many plays other than, you know, he had to play going to the basket when the court opened up, defense opened up. We also want them to dominate the play in the paint, and they've done a good job of that. They've, 12 points in the paint so far to Guelph 16, so, you know, pretty evenly matched. I think they can out-edge them there. As far as Guelph, we had them, you know, second chance points. We want to limit second chance points. They're at 1 right now. They've done a good job so far. Control the pace of the game. They haven't really had to because they have 17 points on Niagara's turnovers, so we really haven't had to see them in the half court.
And then, yeah, execution on offense, we haven't quite, like you were saying before, it's been a lot of free throws, it's been a lot of running. Looking forward to seeing if they can get that half-court offense working here in the second half. Now let's take a look over to the halftime stats presented by BetCris. Again, the shooting, I think, is kind of the thing that stands out here. The offense has not necessarily been on fuego for any of these teams. 35% for Guelph, 37% for the River Lions. And 4 blocks at the rim. That kind of is a product of having John Arledge, the block leader in the tournament so far. Although Sam Muldrow was the blocks leader last year, holds the CEBL record for blocks in a game with 8, a game that I called last year and was blown away by what he was able to do in that one. So still chance for the blocks battle to turn around here anytime Sam Muldrow is on the floor.
And don't forget Jabari Craig.
Jabari
Don't
Craig as
forget
well,
Jabari
yeah.
Craig. This is a guy, he has length, he has size, compete with these guys.
Of course, Jabari Craig was moved into the starting lineup today after not starting the first couple games for Guelph. The starters yesterday let Coach Kissy down just a little bit. It's been a little bit better here today for the starters. Tredarius McCallum has had a pretty good game, leads all scorers with 8 points on the Nighthawks, and Muldrow has 8 as well on the side of the River Lions. Let's see if we can get some more offense going here in the second half as we get closer to Elam ending time. Once again, 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They add 9 points to the leading team's score. That becomes the target score the teams will play to. We had our first close Elam ending finish last night as the Edmonton Stingers took down the Ottawa Blackjacks in a game that was really compelling start to finish.
But if we don't start scoring some baskets tonight, we're going to be here a while, no matter whether it's regulation or Elam. We will be here.
Title score of target score of 52 or something like that.
Right.
Let's hope that's not the case.
And I have noticed guys have started to shoot a lot more threes in Elam. So based on these numbers here, we definitely don't want that.
And we'll get started here. The Guelph Nighthawks again 1-1. The River Lions also 1-1 as we get geared up here for the third quarter. One of these teams will move to 2-1 and put themselves in a pretty good spot. You know, with only 6 games for each of these teams, 2 wins might be enough to get you into that top 6 to get into the knockout round. That's not where you want to be necessarily. You don't want to be 2-4, but that might be enough to just keep you safe in theory.
It'll keep you safe. It'll keep you safe. I mean, it's all going to depend on how Ottawa shapes up. I would say that.
Absolutely. And we've got the quarter started here. Daniel Mullings out there with Cassius Robertson, Guillaume Boucard, Trey Belhanes, and Sam Muldrow for the River Lions. As Robertson drives, finds a swooping in Mullings, tries to find Muldrow. That's not going to go. Oh, it's going to stick with the River Lions.
And you know what? Guelph has switched up their defense a lot tonight. They start the half in a 2-3 zone. It probably threw Niagara off a bit.
Bit of a change from the first half. Jabari Craig on the bench for the Nighthawks. Tyrell Green in, along with John Arledge, Kimball McKenzie, Tredarius McCallum, and Jamal Reynolds, who did not start the game either. Here's Boucard underneath. He's going to go to the line, fouled there.
That's a tough one.
Reynolds will pick up the foul. Reynolds gets the call to start the second half here. What did you see from Reynolds in that first half? Just 4 points, but he brought a little bit of energy.
Yeah, he's always an energy guy. He's a guy that's going to play defense, hassle the ball, get out in transition. He runs hard. That's always going to create offense, if not for himself, but, to his teammates.
Boucard, Kansas first, all tied up now at 31 in the first half. We had 5 lead changes. Biggest lead, only 7 for Guelph, so it's been tight all the way. Guelph has led for the majority of the time, though. 15-40 time in the lead for the Nighthawks. Kimball McKenzie, as the team is now trailing once again by 1, brings it up. Reynolds takes the Arledge screen, finds Reynolds on the roll. Little turnaround. Can't get that to go. Picked up there by Mullings. Trey Belhanes finds a slashing Boucard. Ooh. And we got a whistle and a foul against Guillaume Boucard, the defending top Canadian in the CEBL.
That's a tough position to catch the ball, and he's going full speed down the middle of the court with the defense set. There's not much he can do even if he catches the basketball, so tough position to be in. But I do like the aggressive idea to kick the ball up and get the ball moving, get guys touches.
Once again, thanks to all those joining us on CBC Gem, cbcsports.ca, as well as CJOY 1460 Radio in Guelph. There's Tyrell Green putting a little baseline floater.
That's a poor man's Carmelo. I like his. Sees the advantage, has a smaller guard on him, take advantage of it.
Who's the poor man's Javon Shepard?
Oh, me right now.
Daniel Mullings can't get it to go in the lane. In the corner, Tredarius McCallum for 3. That pops out, no good. Cassius Robertson will take it the other way.
Tough shot. It's a good shot. Guys got the ball up there early, but we didn't have anybody in rebounding position.
Sam Muldrow thinks about it, but decides to hold off and dish it back to Robertson. Robertson has McKenzie on him. He'll drive right into the lane. Can't get that to go.
Cash he's a little frustrated. I can see it in his demeanor right now. He's gone to the basket a couple times. Felt like he's gotten hit and no call.
And then Jamal Reynolds does get a call. Cassius Robertson not too pleased about that. And Reynolds is going to go to the line to shoot 2.
He may have a case. Niagara's only shot 5 free throws tonight, so he may have a case right now.
One of the nice things about the CEBL as well, I mean, we all kind of make our gripes with officials from time to time, but the nice thing about the CEBL is that that's part of the league, is developing pro officials for Canadian basketball as well. And, you know, it's not just players and coaches who get a chance to develop here. It's, you know, it's officials who, you know, they have spent time coaching youth sports and things like that. And they are.
So it's definitely neat. Like, we have all these guys under one roof, a high level of basketball, professional basketball. So it gives our referees an opportunity to, you know, to exercise their skills as well and develop them. So I'm all for it. There's gonna be some bumps and bruises on the way, but you know, I'm not playing, so I don't have to deal with that.
Cassius Robertson on the wing. Over to Trey Bell-Haynes. He'll drive. Kicks to the corner. Muldrow for 3. That's no good. Mullings skies for the putback, and it's good. That's an athletic play by Daniel Mullings.
It is, and you know what? That's a downside to a zone, is that you really have to find guys come out of position to really blot them out.
Jamal Reynolds picks up the miss from John Arledge, and that's good.
He's all over the court, isn't he?
Yeah, the energy's
all
just
over the court.
Popping off from Jamal Reynolds. 37-34, the Guelph Nighthawks lead. 7:24 to play here in the quarter.
He's a really good motor. Guys like that, you really have to pay attention to them, because they can be at any point of the court at any time.
There's a reason he was one of just a handful of guys to be brought back by Charles Kissy from last year's team.
Right.
He does a lot out there, does Jamal Reynolds.
He plays multiple positions. Right now you see him pushing the basketball, playing the point guard. Seen him on the perimeter. I've seen him, you know, post guys up.
McKenzie to the corner. McCallum for 3. That is good.
You don't get better basketball than that. The drive, kick, open shot, simple basketball. Less is more. I actually had a coach, John Beeline, who some may be familiar with, got let go by the Cavs, would always preach to me, less is more. I had no clue what he was talking about until I got a little older.
Basketball does not need to be that complicated a game as Tyrell Green steps out. A reminder, everybody, that Bell Lifestyle Products is proud to provide natural health products for the elite athletes of the CEBL, retired athletes, and weekend warriors alike. Never stop doing your thing. Men's health empowered by nature. Bell Lifestyle Products. Trey Bell-Haynes gets it back there to Cassius Robertson, who's had the ball in his hands quite a bit to start this quarter. Takes the screen from Ryan Edgem, freshly checked in. Into the corner. Mullings will drive. Can't get it to go. Picked up there underneath by Edgem. A foul is called.
And I think we've talked about simple basketball. I think that's been the problem of Niagara tonight. They have so many tools. They have so many weapons that guys, you know, are picking up and trying to do it themselves. They really don't. They're really coming out of character, I should say. When they're at their best is when they're really getting guys involved. And let the game come to them. They have too many tools. They have a lot of tools that they can use. Inside, outside, guys that can shoot it, guys that can create.
I mean, we talked last week on the CEBL podcast, which you should go listen to, the CEBL show on your favorite podcast provider. There's a plug. We talked about the River Lions, and we tried to assemble our ideal 5-man lineup for the team. And you, Jason, Tom, and I all have 3 different answers because they have so many good players. And in a short sort of time like this, I could see why that might be a challenge to kind of figure out the hierarchy when you have that many talented guys. Kimble McKenzie for 3, that's no good. The lead is 6 right now for Guelph, 40-34, 6 minutes to go here in the quarter. Tyrone Watson into the corner, swung around, back to Trey Bell-Haynes down in the right corner.
Stagnant, you have to play off the catch there.
Trey Bell-Haynes gets it to go, lefty over John Arledge.
Or you can do that.
There is Reynolds in the corner, Tredarius McCallum. Now Reynolds back up top, 11 on the clock. Drives on Trey Bell-Haynes. That's out of bounds. A reminder, Kotak Law, the official law firm of the CEBL Summer Series, knows these times have been hard for many Canadians. That is why they are donating $7,000 to the Canadian Mental Health Association and invite CEBL fans to join them. Visit cmha.ca today and join Inesh Kotak in supporting the mental health of Canadians from coast to coast.
See, this is where I'd want to see Guelph. They haven't got anything in the last couple of plays running up and down. Let's slow it down, get something, get a touch on the inside. get a touch on the inside, and then kick it out and just let the game come to them unfold. That way they keep the momentum going, right? Guys are a little gassed right now. Basketball's a game of runs. They're not going to keep running up and down the court and getting easy baskets.
Traybell Haynes, not exactly an easy basket there, but a basket nonetheless, and it's 40-38 for the Nighthawks. Reynolds for three. That's good. His stroke always trips me up because it's the weird one-handed thing, but it works.
I'm impressed at how Coach Victor Razzo is able to keep his composure. That's another misassignment defensively. Leads to an open shot.
Tyrone Watson bowls over Jamal Reynolds down low. That is a large, powerful man with a large, powerful posterior knocking Jamal Reynolds down. Jabari Craig recently checked in under the basket. He'll turn around, kicks it back up. Tyrell Green will drive. He's got Haynes on him. Floater, no good. And that's knocked out by Craig coming over the top.
I like how Jabari Craig, in the pick and roll, he really dives hard to the basket. So he creates, if not an advantage for himself, weak side is forced to help to bump. You either have a weak side pass or lob at the basket. Or if his defender doesn't step up, basket for the guard. Straight line basket for the guard. I think we've seen that earlier with Miles Jarvis, but Niagara's doing a better job right now of really closing the gaps and shrinking the floor. I guess they've just missed the weak side pass.
Dorian Pinson back into the game here. Terrell Tate's in the game for the Nighthawks.
And this is the versatility I'm talking about. We had Tyrone Watson bring the basketball up. He's playing your 5 position right now.
Down low, the pass to Edgem is deflected and picked off. And here's Tredarius McCallum on the run. Can't get it to go. Rebound grabbed by Pinson, but it's poked free by Jarvis getting in there. Green for three. That's no good. Edgem with the rebound. Here's Traybell Haynes walking it up. Just under 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Ryan Anderson, haven't seen him much today. A little baseline jumper, no good. Edgem underneath, can't get it to go.
Interesting enough, him and Pinson have been relatively quiet.
And there's Jabari Craig on a nice feed by Tyrell Tate. A little touch pass from the corner. And Craig jams it down. 45-40, the Nighthawks lead.
It's funny, I'm happy to see Jabari Craig out here. I seen him 2 summers ago. I was actually just at a gym working out with my nephew, and he was just in there working out, just shooting the basketball. And we had a conversation, and I was confused at why he wasn't playing professionally. And he's one of those guys that just fell through the cracks. He's probably a guy that, he's a late bloomer. And, just seeing him out here and having the ability to get out here and play with these guys and compete with these guys, I'm extremely happy for him.
And we have reached the media timeout here at Meridian Center. The remainder of the third quarter up next here on CBC Gem, that is, and CJOY 1460.
The CEBL is more than just basketball. It's about community, art, music, stories, food, and so much more. It's a professional basketball experience like no other, a lifestyle like no other, and it's time to bring it all together. Welcome to the CEBL Life, a forum where artists, musicians, videographers, community workers, writers, chefs, and innovative minds unite for one purpose, to showcase their talents and connect with a sport we all love, basketball. Head over to CEBL.ca to learn more. Follow the Niagara River Lions on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the River Lions have to offer. Follow the Guelph Nighthawks on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the Nighthawks have to offer.
.45-40, the Guelph Nighthawks lead here on CBC Gem. Our broadcasts are being brought to you by Media Pro Canada, using AI technology on their cameras, and still working out a couple kinks here and there. Sometimes the play is too fast and they get a little bit behind, but we appreciate you bearing with us as we get used to life with AI cameras, as we work to keep the number of people in the building as low as possible. Dorian Pinson with the bucket there.
It's another change of defense out of the media timeout. I think Guelph was in a 1-2-2 zone at this time. We'll see how fast they get out of it. Niagara was able to capitalize right out the gate, which you need to do to break that, right?
Tyrell Tate has Tyrone Watson on him. Famatimi 4 on the clock. Famatimi for 3. That is good over the shorter Trey Bell Haynes. The 15-year pro, Olu Famatimi.
Oldest guy in the league right now. He looks the youngest.
Dorian Pinson for 3. You've played with Olu, correct?
Yeah, we played together on the national team for some years. He was actually my rookie year. He was my vet. Like, that was the guy that really, took care of me, showed me the ropes, and now I'm here watching him get younger and younger. It's a fountain of youth.
Just a reminder, the 2021 CEBL season ticket drive started yesterday and will run throughout the entire CEBL summer series. Visit riverlions.ca or thenighthawks.ca to place your $50 deposit and secure your 2021 season tickets, or purchase your season tickets completely by the end of the summer series and receive a 12% discount on your 2021 season tickets. Jabari Craig swooping in from the left corner, can't get it to go. Picked up there by Terrell Tate. 10 on the clock. Friesen steps out of bounds. And that is going to be Riverline's ball. 48-42, the Guelph Nighthawks lead. A reminder, the Elam ending coming up in the fourth quarter. This is kind of where you get a little bit of scoreboard watching, right, Javon? As you get within 12 minutes of game time of that, where you're doing math in your head, like, oh, if we're down by this much when the Elam kicks in, how much do we got to make up?
Slowly
it's
but
all
surely.
part of the conversation for coaches now.
Slowly but surely. I mean, it hasn't been a big scoring game, but it makes for a better ending considering the rule changes.
Certainly. There is Tyrone Watson getting it to go off glass. 4-point game now. Guelph leads. Miles Charvis walking it up. Under 2 minutes to go here in the quarter. Charvis down low to Craig. He's got the size, he's got the dexterity, he's got the bucket.
I'm a big Craig fan, man. I mean, there's things that he does that aren't going to show up in the stat sheet. And I said it earlier on, but the way he dives to the basket, he creates a lot, not only for himself. I mean, on a play like that, if he doesn't end up with the bucket, you have a play on the weak side.
Kimball McKen, sorry, excuse me, that's Joel Friesen. Travel called on Friesen. You mentioned Jabari Craig, got the start today. Scarborough, Ontario zone from East Carolina, and played over in Kosovo this past season after playing for the Nighthawks last year.
Right, yep. He's a big talent. I think a league like this will also allow somebody like him to develop, get more exposure, and play with guys at a high level.
What would this league have meant to you, Javon, for you to be able to come in here in the summers and play as a foul there on
I would have absolutely loved this. Not only just to have the opportunity, the obvious, these guys can make a little change, make a little pocket change. They don't have to dip into their savings. Two, just to compete against some of the guys that I've heard about, guys that are younger than me that are coming with some really big talents, and just, a bit of the camaraderie. Like, these are guys that you don't generally get to see over the years, and I couldn't have said enough. And again, like, for a lot of guys, this is also going to create opportunities, right, for, better jobs and just development. So, for a guy like myself who was also a late bloomer, this could have also propelled my career a lot earlier.
Absolutely. As we see Joel Friesen to the line, shooting his second. I believe there was a clear path foul that they called there, so it's going to be two shots on the ball.
Two shots plus the ball, sorry.
52-44, Guelph leads, 1:15 to play.
Guelph seems to slowly be creeping away.
Craig with it. Gets it back to Charvis, 12 on the clock. Friesen swung over, Famatimi back to the corner. Terrell Tate for 3, that's no good. Rebound by Cassius Robertson, a minute left here in the third quarter.
Something so simple as well as that Olu did, and a vet play, obviously.
Ryan Anderson
drawing towards him, pump fake, got him in the air to make the extra pass. Not a make, but it's something that gets guys involved, right?
Anderson cans the 3 there on the assist from Daniel Mullings. Here is Miles Jarvis into the lane, kicked out. Tyrell Tate gonna drive, kicks to the corner, Friesen for three. That's just short. He gets it back though, puts it up again, why not? And that's good. Got the weight of it right the second time.
2 for $1.
Mullings, 20 seconds ago, 3 seconds difference between the game and shot clocks. Mullings poked away there by Famatimi. Tate will pick it up, shot clock is off. He will drive into the lane, that's no good. But the putback there by Famatimi following.
It's almost like Niagara has a 4-second delay, similar to this monitor, before getting into their offense. Oh.
And we've reached the end of the third quarter. Now a 10-point lead for Guelph, 57-47. The fourth quarter and the Elam ending on its way on the other side here on CBC Gem and on the radio on CJOY 1460 in Guelph.
Elam ending is upon us, and they take the timeout to set the target score.
Gets up into the air, gets it to go! Not there, Boucard in the corner for three. Guillaume Boucard at the buzzer, drains it, and the Niagara River Lions get out of here with a 93-92 victory.
Well, when I was younger in high school, I was a pretty good athlete. Went to the provincial championships in most sports like volleyball, track, basketball, and of course the goalie. But lately I've been going up the stairs like Fred Sanford. That's why I use Inflamex. Remember, 2 M's, 2 X's.
Inflamex is formulated to relieve joint pain, helps address pain and inflammation at the cellular level, and is GMO-free and allergen-free.
I'm doing better with a little help from my friends at Bell Lifestyle Products, so you can do the things that you do best.
Oh, yeah!
Welcome back for fourth quarter action here at Meridian Center, brought to you by Meridian Credit Union, where banking feels good, and Ward 1 Studios, video production partners of the Guelph Nighthawks and the CEBL. Sean Woodley, Javon Shepard here as we are now just under 6 minutes away from the Elam ending. Taking hold of this game, a 10-point lead for Guelph, 57-47 to Roan Watson. Underneath, Daniel Mullings, that is good. And he gets fouled. He's going to go to the line. Daniel Mullings, chance to cut it to 7.
And this is where you have to be careful. You don't want these guys to get running because this is their basketball. So you have to nip that very early, extremely early, so that they don't continue getting, they don't get no rhythm, they don't get no momentum heading into the 4-minute point.
Yeah, and if you're Guelph, you come in with a 10-point lead. That's a pretty substantial advantage to go into the Elam ending with. If you lose that in any way, things get a little trickier, and every point really matters in a close game like this when it comes to that Elam ending.
At this point, you control the pace of the game. Slow the tempo down if you have something early, really early on, in transition. But if there's nothing, back it out, run some time, run the clock, and then get into your sets.
Mullings at the line. Can't convert the three-point play. Still an 8-point lead here for Guelph. Kimball McKenzie with it.
Again, this is interesting. Out of the quarter, again, we see Niagara in the zone, 2-3 zone. We've seen a lot of zone tonight.
Yeah, there's some gorgeous touch passing there by the Guelph Nighthawks, and a foul is called. Foul's called on Watson. The bench of the Nighthawks there got a little excited because that little ticky-tack touch pass play they had going there. Arledge to the line.
Fastest way to move the ball.
And also to break apart a zone, right? If you can get in there.
Get in there, yep.
penetrate the zone and pass from within, I mean, things open up. First one short for Arledge, one of the imports for this team, for Guelph. Played at Old Dominion, graduated 2015, 5-year pro, and most recently played for Cholet Basket in France. I think I'm saying that correctly.
That you are.
Cholet. A less refined version of myself would call it Cholet Basket.
Another shift to defense.
Tyrone Watson will drive right into John Arledge. And they're going to say that's a foul on Arledge. He was not set. Watson's down. Hopefully he's all right.
This is smart on Guelph. I see in the backcourt they're sending Olu a double team at Cassius rather to get the ball out of his hands. Again, they don't have any real true ball handlers outside of Trey Bell, which is off the court. Next best ball handler is Cassius. Get the ball out of his hands. Get into a guy like Ryan Anderson or Daniel Munnings, who aren't, their first position is not to play point guard or to create or necessarily to handle the ball. So, that's a good move on Coach Charles Kissy.
Yeah, there's quite a difference between being, a primary ball handler and a guy who can do some stuff with the ball in your hands. It's still something you'd prefer if you're a defense to not have it in Cassius Roberts' hands in this case, right? I mean,
right.
Dude can pull up, dude can do a lot.
Right. I think the ideal situation would get into a guy like Ryan Anderson, who's a better spot-up shooter than ball handler per se.
58-50, Guelph leads, 9:17 to play here in the fourth quarter. Olu Famatimi gets it up to Kimball McKenzie. He's been kind of quiet tonight. Kimball McKenzie drives, and right on cue,
basket.
A goaltending violation called in the bucket for Kimball McKenzie.
He's smart. I don't think he even seen the basket, but he knew get the ball off the glass because they're going for a block.
Kimball McKenzie just coming off playing for CB Valladolid in Spain and played for Guelph last year near the end of the season out of Bucknell. And really, when he came along, Guelph kind of figured things out. They really became a much more sort of together unit. And when he took over the reins at point guard, as he walks it up now off the miss into the lane. McCallum with Anderson on him. Over to Famatimi. Into the corner. Arledge for three. Isn't there something about a lefty stroke that's just that much prettier? Arledge cans the three. And it's now a 12-point lead.
They're doing a really good job. Guelph's doing a really good job of pushing the ball, but at the same time being patient and looking for open shots come down the stretch here.
Foul called here on Joel Friesen. It'll be a side out of bounds here.
And another unselfish play that's really not going to stand up in the, it's not going to show up in the stat sheet is Friesen calling for a sub. I know how I played. I want to play the last couple of minutes, and I want stats. So that's a really unselfish play. Just call for a sub when you're tired. Get a fresher guy in to close out the game.
And mesh ball. We'll call it a mesh ball there. It's going to be Nighthawks ball as they hang on to a 12-point lead. I'm really impressed by what Guelph's done here today. I expected them to be a little bit sluggish. Second day of the back-to-back, but not at all. They look great.
You know what I think they've done? They've really, each and every player knows their scouting report right now. They're really locked in on the game plan, especially defensively. Offense has come really easy for them because they've been patient, they found open guys, and they've pushed the basketball. Made it easy on themselves.
McCallum can't get it to go. And it goes back the other way, a turnover, and McKenzie with it, drops it off to Arledge for three. Can't get it to go. Scramble for the ball, and it's going to go back to the River Lions.
Niagara's turnovers have helped them a bit as well. I think they're at about 20 right now. And Guelph has been able to capitalize on that.
Boucard walks it up. Watson will post up Famatimi. He'll go up. That's no good. Out of bounds. The next River Lions broadcast you can catch on the 31st, which is Friday. The Niagara River Lions take on the Edmonton Stingers. Should be an excellent game between the top two teams in the CEBL standings last year. That one at 3 p.m. Jason Tom and Joe Razzo will have the call for you on that one.
Niagara needs to run a play now. A couple times they've come down the court and it's just been me basketball. Oh, no. Look, they got bailed out here with a foul, but it's been a lot of me basketball. They need to settle down, get into something. have their guard call a play. Just run it through. Let's run it through, get guys touches, let everybody feel the basketball. You can see by their demeanors as well. Me ball, forced shot, and then everybody's shoulders shrug. Everybody's looking down. Everybody's frustrated. That takes away from the team morale.
Boucard will back down Tyrell Green. Tries to get it up. That is swatted away. And Reynolds has it. He'll walk it up.
You have to read that. The defense has collapsed on you. That means there's a man open.
Tyrell Green cans the three. And now it's a 15-point lead for Guelph, adding to their 10-point lead coming into the quarter, just 3 minutes from Elam time. Tyrone Watson gets a couple back underneath.
If I'm Niagara right now, I'm pressing up. They have the personnel for it. Apply some pressure, speed Guelph up a bit.
A miss there by Corey Johnson, recently checked in, picked up by Boucard. Ryan Anderson tried to find Boucard, but it went by to Cassius Robertson. They'll take it. Down to Watson again. On the dime from Cassius Robertson, Tyrone Watson puts it in.
I'm happy he made that. I'm happy he made that pass and made that basket because he looked off Daniel Mullings in the corner.
The next broadcast for the Guelph Nighthawks. Oh, we'll get to that in a sec. Let's actually send it down to Amy Audibert, who has something for us.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Listen, the Canadian coaching circle is very small. We all know that. Another great example of it right here in this matchup. So assistant River Lions coach Jeff Joseph. Years ago, I'm not going to say how many, but he was an assistant coach for the McMaster Marauders. And if you look down the court here to the other end, while he was an assistant at Mac, he had the opportunity to coach Steve Mega, who was, by the way, a Marauder great, now an assistant coach for the Guelph Nighthawks, and Charles Kissy. He said he got to coach Coach Kissy his first year at McMaster. He said he didn't get a whole lot of minutes that first year, but what he does remember is his work ethic. He was always smiling, and the most important thing, he said Charles asked so many questions all of the time. The other thing Jeff Joseph told me was, well, I drove him around a lot, and the thing he was most proud of, he introduced Charles Kissy to Foe. Back to you guys.
That's always an important. The person who introduces you to FA is a good person in anybody's life, for sure. As we gear up, 2 minutes 35 seconds away from the Elam ending here, 66-55. The Guelph Nighthawks lead the River Lions. Charvis says he's seen some pressure in the backcourt there. Maybe listening to Javon Shepard. Do they have an ear of the broadcast?
They have an ear
on the bench.
Maybe I was loud enough.
I mean, it wouldn't be hard. It's very empty in here. So.
Now I just need it to work.
And Trarius McCallum gets it to go underneath. Back up to 13. 2:20 to go till the ending. Daniel Mullings with it. He'll drive. And that is poked away. Stolen there by Tyrell Green. Kimball McKenzie on the run. Up. Finishes. And a timeout called here. Vic Rasso none too pleased with the effort of the River Lions as of right now. Down 70-55. 2 minutes remaining until the Elam ending kicks in. So, Javon, 2 minutes here. What's the strategy for Vic Rasso to try to gain these points back? You don't want to be too overzealous because maybe you don't run the risk of potentially giving stuff back on the other end if you're bombing up long threes with long rebounds and things like that. How do you think you approach? I mean, this is a challenge for all coaches to figure out how to navigate not just the Elam ending, but the time leading into it.
You know what? I think right now you need to find a core group of guys that are going to play together. Again, I've said this earlier, but there's been a lot of me basketball, me, I, and it hasn't worked for them. I think, again, we need to get into the half court, slow it down, get the ball inside, play inside, outside, or let's run some motion. Let's get guys touches. We still have time to run some stuff and get through our stuff. I mean, we're only down, 10, 11 points, right? 11 points at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have time to run through our sets, run through our stuff, get guys touches, and then defensively, this is where we pick up the pace, apply some pressure, and get these guys to turn the basketball over.
Absolutely. We will see if the River Lions can cut things back a little bit here. The Guelph Nighthawks, their next game is going to be also, in addition to the River Lions on Friday, they'll be part of that doubleheader on Friday. They take on Saskatchewan, the Rattlers, at 5:30 Eastern Time. So be sure to tune in for that one as Jason Tom and Joe Razzo will be on the call. You're stuck with me and Javon for the next 2 days after this one. Sorry out there to those who enjoyed Jason and Joe. How could you not enjoy those guys? Here is Trey Bell-Haynes up top.
And I like this. We ran through, but I don't like the shot.
Yeah.
But we ran something. This is good. We ran something. We got some screens. Didn't get the best shot. Maybe we should have been a little more patient, call a ball screen.
That's the thing is, are you trying to get in your offense quickly here? Because you never know. I mean, the Nighthawks are liable to foul as soon as that 4 minutes hits just to get the Elam ending initiated, right?
15-point game. We have 5 minutes left. We have time.
Trey Bell-Haynes. Yeah, just a minute 20 to get it to Elam time.
Yeah, a minute 20 rather.
It's trying to get used to it, right? You never played with anything like that
Nothing
before,
like
right?
It.
Yeah.
Nothing like it.
Couple subs coming in. Sam Muldrow checking in here. Ryan Anderson. So for the River Lions, it is Trey Bell-Haynes, Robertson, Watson, Muldrow, and Ryan Anderson. Going pretty big here, actually, with Anderson, Watson, Muldrow front court. Then you have Miles Charvis with Tyrell Green, Tredarius McCallum, Tyrell Tate, and Kimball McKenzie. Up top, McCallum for three. That's no good. Muldrow with the big rebound. Big possession here. Got to get some points on the board if you're Niagara. Trey Bell-Haynes down to Tyrone Watson, and that is good. Off the glass. Watson's probably been the most effective offensive player so far for the Rivers Lions, just kind of cleaning up and finishing on a lot of feeds from his guards.
Again, he's stuck to his strengths. He's kept it simple and just made baskets around the rim.
There is Kimball McKenzie over to Tate into the corner. McCallum for three. That's good. A huge three for Tredarius McCallum, the import.
Is that the nail in the coffin?
I mean, it certainly makes things more difficult. We've seen in the Elam ending that, the team that's down tends to start defending like maniacs, and that leads to, points. But certainly you want to be as close as possible when you get to it. Ryan Anderson stops the clock
I'm going to
here.
make a prediction here. What I've seen over the last couple of games is, guys, the winning team going into Elam, the leading team rather, is going to start to jack up a lot of threes.
Yeah, yep.
I think coming down the stretch of this season, the summer series season, is a team that is able to not only build chemistry, but a team that's able to stay poised and stay composed during the Elam, the Elam time frame, is a team that's going to have the most success.
Ryan Anderson at the line again for his second. That's good. 15-point game, 73-58. And they might just wind down this possession and foul after this to initiate Elam time and not risk the River Lions getting any more points on the board. That was the strategy yesterday for Edmonton. McCallum drives, and he is fouled. And that is the first stoppage under 4 minutes. So we'll see these free throws here from McCallum, and then it will be Elam ending time. So we'll add 9 points to the score after these two free throws, and that will be the target score that we're playing to. So McCallum at the line. He hits the first. 74-58, now a 16-point lead. Chance to extend it to 17. Which will be tough to overcome if you're Niagara. And he does. So 75-58 is the score. And the Elam ending kicks in. The target score to play to now is 84 points for the Guelph Nighthawks to get to.
84.
So to refresh the rules of the Elam ending here, Javon, 4 minutes now. The clock turns off completely. There's no fouling. There's none of this back and forth with late game stuff that you tend to see. It's just basketball. It's pure distilled basketball. Playing to a target score like you do on the park growing up, playing to 84. You've got the game clock, of course, turned off. You've got the target score set at 84. First team to reach target score is going to win. And I really like this. And you can listen to actually more about this, I had Nick Elam, Dr. Nick Elam, the creator of the Elam ending and sort of the brainchild of this all, on the CEBL show podcast a couple weeks back, sort of explaining all the reasons why it's just a better way to end basketball games. It's creative. It might just very well be the future. It gets rid of everyone's least favorite part of basketball, which is fouls in the last couple minutes as people try to draw out the game. Now there's not a clock you're up against. You're just competing against the other team, trying to score to the target score.
But don't we want to see overtime? We need some overtime.
Overtime?
We
No.
need overtime.
Overtime is the worst thing in basketball. We get rid of that, too. It's fantastic.
the worst for TV. It's the best for fans.
Well, here, the beautiful thing about this is you get a basket finishes every single game. It's not, all right, let's just trade free throws and extend the game out. It's a basket finishing off every game. It's new. It's different. Coaches have to adjust. Coaches get to be a little less coachy because they don't get to call timeouts and draw sideline out of bounds plays. But it is a very exciting way to finish basketball
games. I actually believe
games.
the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter are more important than those, the last 4 minutes.
Absolutely.
The game's actually won, in my opinion. The game's actually won in the coaching of those first 6 minutes. But again, it does speed up the game and forces teams to play the clock. Not the clock. Play through to the ending.
And now the thing, too, is you don't see the potential of the clock just taking away a chance of a comeback. We haven't seen it yet, but one of these days we are going to see a comeback from one of these teams that's trailing big.
I'm yet to see it. I'm waiting for it.
It's going to be wild. Are you ready to predict it happening here?
It might happen here. I feel it happening right here.
I need declarative statements, Javon. Here's Trey Bell-Haynes, 5 on the clock. He gets in there. That's a nice little bucket for Trey Bell-Haynes. Cuts it to 15, 75-58. Again, the target score you see up in the corner of your screen there, 84 points. Could be as quick as 3 bombs on 3 possessions for Guelph.
And we've seen a lot of those.
Or it could be quite long and drawn out if some defensive stops can be strung together here. 3 in the corner there for Green. That is nowhere close. Picked up here by Cassius Robertson. And you see the energy. Oh, maybe we got a chance now. Here's Cassius Robertson driving.
This has been the common theme during these games.
We have seen the lower scoring team going into the Elam ending outscoring the team in the lead just about across the board.
We've actually seen 3 games end on three-pointers and 3 games, 6 games total, 3 on three-pointers and 3 on two-pointers.
Absolutely. Tyrell Green with the bucket there, now just 7 points away from that target score are the Guelph Nighthawks. Trey Bell-Haynes drives again. That's slapped off the knee, and that is going to be Guelph ball.
They've played him for the drive all night. Again, I think teams have had 2 or 3 games now to really watch scouting reports and know how their players' tendencies. And we've seen it tonight. I've seen how they've defended Mullings. I've seen how they defended Trey Bell-Haynes. And also Cassius. They've really done a good job being aggressive on him and not letting him get going early on.
Couple notes as well about the Elam ending. We're to sort of last 2-minute rules. So if there's a foul off the ball before a ball is inbounded, it's 2 shots and the ball for that team. So keep an eye out for that, as it's a bit of a hurdle for teams to overcome and making sure they're not fouling off ball. Teams can also choose where they want to inbound. They can inbound in the front court for a 14-second shot clock or in the back court for 24.
Again, Guelph has done a really good job in pick and roll actions. Before I was speaking on, who was it? Aldridge that's in there. Does a really good job of really rolling to the basket extremely hard. And again, he may not be the beneficiary of the play, but weak side, or the guard has an easy layup to the basket.
Here's Miles Jarvis, charging baseline. Tries to find Famatimi, misses it, and it'll go back to the river line. 77-60 with a target score of 84. Under the Elam ending. This is good for us broadcasters, too, because we're not sitting here trying to, a 17-point game with 1 minute left. We're like, oh, yeah, it's close. Maybe they can come back. No. Actually, there's no clock to contend with now, and we get to celebrate and go crazy on a bucket no matter what. There's Trey Bell-Haynes, gets in there, 15 points. As you can tell, I'm a fan of the Elam ending. This was a thing that happened to me last year. I caught a lot of Riverlines games, and they were quite good. And they would beat teams by a lot. And I was sitting there for the last quarter a lot of the time saying, hey, there's a chance, doing the Jim Carrey Dumb and Dumber thing. And a foul there. Terrell Tate is going to go to the line here to try to put a couple more on the board for Guelph as they hunt down that all-important 84 target score. And before you ask, you're allowed to go over 84. That's fine. If you hit a 3 when you're at 83 points, you don't go back to 0 or anything like that and have to restart. This isn't a very strict game of 21.
Let's take bets on who's going to end this game.
Oh, we can do that too, yeah. Well, let's see in the past. We got to go. We have the list of Elam ending scores, some here in my notes.
I'm going with Reynolds.
Jamal Reynolds. All right, not a bad pick.
Yep. Trust in Reynolds.
One day I'll find these notes. Daniel Mullings actually hit the first Elam ending winner for Niagara in their first win.
Reverse layup.
It was Tredarius McCallum who hit it for Guelph. 79-62 after those made free throws. Just 5 points away here for Guelph as they force another turnover. Here's Kimball McKenzie. Over to Jamal Reynolds. Into the corner. Famatimi for 3. That's short. Picked up there. Trey Bell-Haynes. He'll walk it away. To the other end, here's Tyrone Watson off glass. That is good.
Tyrone Watson, simple basketball.
You'll see the backboards lit up as well to signal that we're in Elam time. Lots of pomp and circumstance. Kimball McKenzie drives. That's good off glass. And now just a 3-point bucket away from the win are the Guelph Nighthawks. An upset win here if they can pull it off, considering they were on the second night of the back-to-back. Kicked out. Watson. A foul is going to be called. That's on Jamal Reynolds.
I missed that
reminder
whistle.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I missed that whistle. Oh, he's got 2.
Mullings to the line to shoot 2. Reminder to stick around. CBC Gem following this game. We'll close out this broadcast and start up our 7:30 broadcast between the Saskatchewan Rattlers and the Fraser Valley Bandits, the 2 undefeated teams left in the pool here at 1-0.
That's going to be an interesting match. Fraser Valley is a team that really pressures the basketball, They have some hungry, tough dogs.
There's Jamal Reynolds at the free throw line. A 3-ball away. Is this it? Kimball McKenzie hits it. And the game is over. 84-65. The Guelph Nighthawks take the win over the Niagara River Lions to move to 2-1 here in the CEBL Summer Series. The River Lions move to 1-2, a surprise considering they came in as heavy favorites, I would think, based on their track record from last year. As we take a look here at Kimball McKenzie knocking down the winner.
Oh, these guys are. You can see it in their faces. They have to regroup. These guys have to get back together. Look, Niagara guys are, they're shrugging their shoulders, heads low.
They do get a couple days to regroup before they play again on Friday once again. So we'll see both of these teams back in action on Friday. One of the guys back in action for the Guelph Nighthawks will be Olu Famatimi, who is joining our sideline reporter, Amy Audibert, right now to talk about the game. Amy.
Hello. Winning a back-to-back, tail end of a back-to-back is not easy. Take me to through the last 22 hours. How are you guys able to come out and do this?
We just want to be more aggressive, both on defense and offense, and we just try to make up for last game.
It wasn't a do-or-die game. However, do you feel going up 2-1 was really important, and why?
I mean, it'll just give us a better cushion going down the season or through the tournament, and just winning this game was just was more important than the last, we feel.
You've played on a lot of pro teams in your career. What are you learning about the character of this group?
We got a bunch of great guys on the team. Personality is great, and we're just playing together. That's what I really love about the team.
All right, we appreciate your time. I know you want to go get some ice. We'll go back to you guys.
Thanks, Amy, and thanks to Olu Famatimi for taking some time to chat there to break down the game. Again, a really big win here for Guelph as they move to 2-1. You still want to win more games to get that standing sort of figured out if you are the Guelph Nighthawks. But, having 2 wins, you're pretty much safe, right? You're going to be in that top 6 most likely, and that is the important thing. You get to play into knockout time. Last final thoughts on the game here, Javon Shepard, as the Niagara River Lions fall by 19 points.
I think Guelph did a really good job tonight of controlling the points in the paint. I think that's where they won about this game, as well as the points off of turnovers. They didn't really have to get into a half-court set, and they're really able to control the tempo of the game. Steals converting on the converting on the offensive end, again coming back down on defensive end, controlling the boards, controlling the steals, and just defensively. This is where they won that game. They're able to get out and make the game easy for themselves.
It's far from over from the River Lions, of course. They have a lot of time to sort of figure things out here. They get 2 days off before their next game on Friday. Of course, our next game, we don't get 2 days off. We get like 20 minutes off.
20 minutes.
Yeah, we'll be back here at 7:30 for the pregame ahead of the 7:40 tip between the Saskatchewan Rattlers and the Fraser Valley Bandits. Looking forward to that one. That should be a lot of fun as those two teams look to stay undefeated. That's going to do it for us here between the Nighthawks and the River Lions. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will talk to you again in about 20 minutes' time for Rattlers and the Fraser Valley Bandits, that is, here on CBC Gem. And thanks as well to those who were listening on our Guelph station, CJOY 1460, up there in the Royal City. We'll talk to you at 7:30, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.